What's up guys, it's Kevin here. Today I'm going to teach you guys more about the Malay language by popular demand, particularly colloquial Malay words such as jom, rupanya, camni, and do, many more. Most of these words will be used in a casual setting among friends, and also they may not be used commonly in a more formal or elderly situation, so do take note on that. Most of these words I have actually heard myself growing up all around me, so I would like to share with you guys some of the Malay colloquial words. The first one is rupanya, which actually means turns out. We would say things like, oh, turns out he's a bad guy. Kat sini rupanya buku aku. Turns out my book was over here. Aku ingat Mina tu baik. Rupanya dia suka menipu. I thought Mina was nice. Turns out she loves lying. The next thing you commonly hear is the word near, which is attached towards the end of a word. In Malay language, when you attach near, it can either mean a possessive noun of that person, or in this case, the second point, to emphasize the adjective, such as panasnya, it's very hot. Or the word hebat, which means amazing. When you add near behind, it means so amazing. So you can literally add the word near to like behind any adjective you want. Sedih is sad. Sedihnya is very sad. Bijak, which means smart. If you say bijaknya dia, she's so smart. In this case, adding a near behind words emphasizes the intensity of that word. The third very common Malay word you will hear all around is the word jom. The word, it sounds very forceful, jom, and that's what it really means, let's go. So you will always hear this among people when they want to go for outings or some kind of invitational setting, such as jom makan McDonald's, which means let's go eat McDonald's. Or jom tengok wayang esok, which means let's go watch a movie tomorrow. Jom literally kind of invites you and has a kind of like an urgency that makes you want to do it. Jom, jom kita pergi Genting. Let's go to Genting. Another popular word is the word weh, W-E-H, or in some case W-E-I. It kind of means hey, where you're kind of nudging someone. In English, you would say, hey, do you want to eat? But in Malay, you might say, weh, kau nak makan tak? Just replace hey with weh, W-E-E-H, and it kind of roughly means the same. In other cases, weh can also mean a sudden realization or like a shock when you want to express like, oh no, weh, aku nampak benda pelik tadi. Oh my gosh, I just saw something really strange. So OMG replaced with weh. Yeah, it can get a bit confusing. If the more you use it and the more you hear, you can kind of like ease into it and kind of get used to it. The next word is kan, K-A-N, with a question mark. This is attached towards the end as when you want a confirmation, reassurance to something. In English, we would say right at the end, such as, this was so good, right? Replace it with kan, K-A-N, and it means roughly the same. Kau balik esok kan? You're going back tomorrow, right? Datuk boleh makan kan? Grandpa, you haven't eaten yet, right? Kamal, awak dah siapkan dokumen tu kan? Kamal, you have finished that document, right? So it's very straightforward, interchangeable, right with kan. And it kind of makes you prompt that person like you want a reassurance or confirmation, again, in a question form. Another short form of word we hear is the word do. And no, this is not what Homer says when he's upset. It's more like you put it at the end of words to emphasize things. It also kind of means, you know what bro? All those words are summarized into one word, do. Aku makan habis 10 pinggan mie do. I just finished 10 plates of noodles, bro. Sedap doh nasi ni. This rice was so tasty, bro. I would say this is not a word you would use in a formal setting. We wouldn't even say you know what bro in a formal settings either. But another word shortening that happens a lot of time is the word je, J-E. Je is a shortening of the word sahaja, which means only. But when you use je by itself afterwards or boleh je, it means of course. For example, if someone says, can we walk into the restaurant? You would say, boleh je. Of course you can. Yeah, literally you will hear boleh je everywhere and people will say it really casually. It's like a nod, boleh je. Next up, you will hear a combination of two words merged together. And this is something that mostly is spoken, again, in a more casual context, such as kitorang, which actually comprises of two Malay words, kita orang, which means we people. When you combine, it actually kind of means us. So kitorang means us. Example, kitorang nak belajar, which is we want to learn. Usually I will hear this context within like my colleagues and group of friends. They'll say, kita orang nak makan KFC. We want to eat KFC. Referring to like us, as in like that group of colleagues. They'll say, kita orang. Another mashed up word is camni, which is comprised of two words, macam ini or like this. In English, we would say, you've taught me like this. So in Malay, we would say, awak ajar saya macam ni. Macam ni normally put at the end, which is like this. You always hear these two words, instructional tones or direction-based sentences. Tulis macam ni. Write like this. Nanti pakai macam ni. Which means, wear like this later. Last but not least, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but there's another way to emphasize words to make it even more intense, and that is adding the word gila behind adjectives, such as panas gila. Earlier on we mentioned near, which is added after behind words to make it more intense. Panas near. In this case, panas gila means crazy hot, because gila in Malay means crazy. So if you add it behind words, it just means that word but crazier. So panas gila, crazy hot. Sedap gila, crazy delicious. Nasi lemak ini pedas gila. This nasi lemak was crazy hot. Ujian tadi susah gila. That test was crazy hard. So in this case, you can choose between adding near or gila depending on your mood. How intense do you want it to sound? Like so hot or crazy hot? You can choose. Alright, that's the end of some of my Malay colloquial words which you might hear. I hope this enlightens you and kind of like gives you an idea of what you can expect if you were to visit Malaysia and hear some of the locals speak. Some of them might actually be apparent to you if you listen really closely. Do, macam ni, rupanya. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe. Do write down in the comments below what kind of other areas of Malay language do you want to learn. I'll try and see what I can do. See you guys next time. Bye!